Om. 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 Om Sahanao Avatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Our first topic of today is from unit number 3, the disease, and lesson number 1 is the battlefield of life. Let us begin our journey into the Bhagavad Gītā, not just as a sacred book, but as a mirror to our own life. The very first chapter of this timeless scripture presents us with a scene of deep inner conflict, one that we all can relate to in different forms. This chapter tells us about Arjun, a mighty warrior who finds himself completely shaken and confused. He is not an ordinary battlefield. He is not on an ordinary battlefield. He is about to fight a war against his own family members, his cousins, teachers, elders, and dear friends. This was the situation of the battlefield. This was no foreign enemy invasion. There were no terrorists, criminals, or strangers on the opposite side. The people standing with weapons in front of him were his own blood relatives, people he had grown up with, laughed with, respected, and loved. Now, why is this important for us? This is the question. Because the Bhagavad Gita is not just about Arjun, it is about you and me. It is about the battles we face within our own hearts, especially when we must make difficult choices involving people we care about. Just as Arjun stood on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, we too stand every day on the battlefield of life called Jivan Kurukshetra. When life throws challenges at you, are you always ready? Most of the time, we may not be. Let me give you some examples to think about. Imagine one day you discover that your spouse is secretly having an affair with your closest friend for the past 2 years. Your world is shattered. Whom do you trust now? Or Think of a situation where your own brothers or sisters cheat out of your rightful share in the family property. The pain of betrayal cuts deeper than a knife. Or imagine a cousin who is your senior at work, using his position to insult you in front of your colleagues, damaging your reputation deliberately. Now, in these situations, are you calm? Are you wise? Or are you filled with anger, sorrow, and helplessness? Just like Arjun, when we are faced with such emotional storms, our ordinary logic and strength fail us. We don't know what to say, what to do, or how to respond. That is called a crisis. Why did Arjun listen to Lord Krishna? And the reason is because in that moment of weakness, Arjun surrendered and said, I do not know what to do. I am confused. Please guide me. He dropped his pride and humbly accepted the guidance of someone wiser than him. And who was that? None other than Lord Krishna. Now look into your own heart. Do you easily surrender when problems arise? Most of us do not. Why? Because our ego won't allow it. We want to appear strong. We don't want to ask for help. We think surrender means defeat. But the truth is, surrendering to wisdom is the beginning of true strength. To truly understand the teachings of the Gita, we must first feel what Arjun felt. Visualize that we are sitting in the battlefield and we are Arjun. For that, try to recall a time in your own life when you were broken, confused, and filled with sorrow. Or imagine such a situation now. Only when your heart is ready and open can the words of Lord Krishna enter it like healing light. The real conflict is Swadharma versus Dharma. Now, let me share something deeper. Arjun's confusion was not just emotional, it was a conflict of dharma between his duty as a warrior, because he was Kshatriya and he has to follow Kshatriya dharma, and his duty as a grandson, disciple, and cousin, family dharma. Now, let me give you a modern example for to clarify. Imagine a police officer who is chasing a group of criminals. Suddenly, he discovers that his own son is among them, and the son even raises a gun at the father. what should the father do? Should he protect society or should he protect his son? Such a situation shakes the very foundation of our understanding of right and wrong. This is exactly what Arjun faced. From verse 1 to 25 of chapter 1, we see the battlefield being described. Each name mentioned: Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhan, and others. They are not just a warrior, but someone with a deep personal connection to Arjun. And yet, they are standing ready to fight him. This is what makes the Gita so powerful. It is not a story of war, it is a story of inner war, what we feel every day. The people you love, the values you hold dear, the roles you play in life, sometimes they all seem to collide with each other. And you don't know what is right anymore. Now, the question is, then what should we do? And the answer is, we must prepare ourselves before such situations arise. The time to build inner strength is now. And when the crisis strikes, if we wait until we are broken, it becomes very hard to think clearly. So think deeply. Are you ready to face a painful situation in life? Are you humble enough to seek guidance from the divine? Are you willing to surrender your ego and ask for the right path? If your answer is yes, then you are ready to truly receive the wisdom of the Gita. Arjun was not weak, he was deeply sensitive and thoughtful. That is why he paused and questioned. And that is why Lord Krishna chose him to receive this great teaching. Now, if you too are sincere like Arjun, then prepare your heart. We are about to enter the sacred conversation between a confused seeker and the divine teacher. And this conversation has the power to change your life forever. Now, we go to the next topic, which is the nature of attachment. What is attachment? Attachment is the emotional connection or bond that an individual develops with something outside of themselves. This something could be a person, an object, a habit, a role, a position, wealth, fame, or even a specific outcome. In simple words, it is the feeling that I need this to be happy. or I cannot live without this. Now, let me give you a simple example. You may say, I must have my cup of coffee in the morning. This is a clear sign of attachment. Must have, which means without this, I cannot do anything. I cannot start my day. Almost every human being is attached to something or someone, whether they realize it or not. This emotional bond influences their thoughts, decisions, and actions. The intensity of this attachment may differ from mild preference to complete dependence, like from 1 to 10. Now, let me give you a deeper example here. A mother is deeply attached to her newborn child. She may feel that the whole purpose of her life is to care for and protect her baby, even to the extent of giving up her own life. Such strong attachment comes from deep emotional investment and identification. Now we will talk about attachment versus love. It is very important to understand this clearly. Attachment is not the same as love. Attachment is born out of dependence. It always comes with some kind of expectation. You must behave this way. You must stay with me. You must not leave me. And when those expectations are not met, pain, anger, jealousy, or fear arises. Love, on the other hand, is free from dependence. It is a selfless emotion. True love does not bind, it liberates. It does not demand, it gives. You can love someone deeply, yet allow them to go their own way. Because your love is not about possessing them. Now, let me offer two examples to make this difference more clear. Number one example of attachment without love. A girl is deeply attached to her boyfriend, but one day she learns that he is seeing someone else. She becomes angry, distances herself, and perhaps even hates him. But notice this, even when there is no more love, the attachment remains. She still thinks about him and misses him. This is attachment based on emotional dependence, not love. The second example is love without attachment. A mother loves her son very much. When he wants to go abroad to pursue higher education, she does not stop him. She feels a little pain of separation, but she lets him go with a smile. Her love is not controlling, it is pure and unconditional. This is true love without attachment. Now we come to the root of attachment. The real root of attachment is ignorance. The ignorance of our own true nature, and the ignorance that something or someone outside of us can complete us or give us lasting happiness. We will explore this deeper in our future lessons. But for now, understand this: attachment begins and grows because of two things. And what those are? Number one, physical association. And the second one is mental association. Physical association and mental association. Now we will try to understand how attachment develops. So first case is physical association. When we repeatedly come into physical contact with something, we start developing a liking or dependency on it. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, the body and mind get used to it. Over time, you feel you cannot start the day without it. This is attachment through physical association. Now we come to mental association. Even if we are not physically close to something, if we constantly think about it, the attachment grows. For example, if a girl keeps thinking about someone again and again, even if they are far apart, her mental association strengthens the emotional bond. Usually, physical association comes first. As we keep meeting someone, talking to them, sharing opinions and experiences, more thoughts about them accumulate in our mind. The more we think, the deeper the attachment. The more we think, the deeper the attachment. Let us say you meet someone new. At first, You have no strong emotions. But slowly, with repeated contact and shared experiences, you begin to develop thoughts about them. You think of them often. This builds mental association. Thus, physical interaction leads to mental bonding. Sometimes it works the other way. We may see a new mobile phone or car advertisement on television. We don't yet own it, but our thoughts get stirred. We start desiring it. Our thoughts build a mental connection. Eventually, we seek physical possession. So now you see, physical and mental associations are interdependent. They feed each other. More physical interaction brings more thoughts. More thoughts pull us into more physical association. This cycle goes on, and before long, the attachment becomes so strong that we say, I cannot live without it. Now the question comes, how do we know we are attached? The interesting thing is, most people are not aware of how attached they are until a block appears between them and the object of their attachment. For instance, if something or someone prevents you from being with the thing you are attached to, you feel disturbed. If something or someone prevents you from being with the thing you are attached to, you feel disturbed. If the obstacle is someone below you in status or power, you feel anger. If the obstacle is someone above you, you feel fear or anxiety. Very important point here. If the obstacle is someone below you in status or power, you feel anger. And if the obstacle is someone above you, you feel fear or anxiety. See the relation between anger and fear here. Now, let me try to explain with a simple story. You have been watching a TV serial every evening after work. After 2 weeks, it becomes your favorite habit. You leave office on time just to catch the show. One day, your subordinates delay in completing their work. You become angry and shout at them because your show is in danger. Another day, your boss calls you to his office near closing time. You feel anxious. You fear that you may miss your program, but you can't shout at your boss. So fear arises. Thus, either anger or fear reveals the degree of our attachment. Until that moment, you may not have realized that you were attached to that cereal. But once an obstacle arises, the hidden attachment comes to light. Now, here is a lesson from the Bhagavad Gītā. Let us now look at a profound example from the sacred Bhagavad Gītā. Arjun, the great warrior, stands in the battlefield ready to fight. He asks Lord Krishna to place the chariot between the two armies so he can clearly see the people he must fight, his enemies. Till now, he was not attached. But what happens next? When he looks, he no longer sees enemies, he sees relatives, teachers, and dear friends. Suddenly, his mind is shaken. He becomes confused, emotional, and refuses to fight. Now, think, Arjun already knew that he was going to fight against Bhishma and Drona before arriving at the battlefield. And he was preparing for that, yet he had no problem earlier. Why did his heart break now? And the reason is because at that crucial moment, he realized the depth of his attachment. He was not aware of it before, but when it was time to act, to kill those dear to him, the emotional bondage surfaced and he collapsed in sorrow. This is the power of attachment. It binds the mind, it clouds judgment, it disturbs peace, it makes us act from fear or anger, and it keeps us in sorrow when things do not go our way. Therefore, attachment is not love. Attachment comes from dependence and expectation. It arises from physical and mental association. It often hides itself until an obstacle appears. And it is rooted in ignorance. The illusion that something outside us is necessary for our happiness. As we progress in our spiritual journey, we must learn to observe our attachments, not with judgment, but with awareness. Awareness is the first step toward inner freedom. In the next lesson, we will go deeper into the causes of attachment and how to rise above it with wisdom. Let this be your reflection for today. Now, I will conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.